We are not going to tell them to go back. They take the decision themselves whether they want to go back or not.
Our programs in the past weeks have highlighted the views of politicians and social activists on how to move forward now that the war is finally over. But what about the young people of the country? How do they fit into Sri Lanka's post-war era? What are their main concerns, and how do they plan on getting involved? Do they feel they have the space to mobilize themselves and work towards making significant changes in the areas they wish to address? Sanchia spoke to a mix of youth, from university students to young working people, to find out their views.
The youth of Sri Lanka have faced many challenges since independence. The last 30 years especially have been overshadowed by the country's conflict. While many young lives were claimed by the war, it has also stunted the growth of the economy and development. The most affected by the conflict have been the rural youth in the north, many of whom were forcibly conscripted to fight government forces, as well as the rural youth in the south who enlisted in the military forces to fight the LTTE. While youth in other parts of the country may have not faced the brunt of the war with the same intensity, it was one that cast a constant shadow over all aspects of their lives.
The younger generations of Sri Lanka, whether they are from the north or the south, were born into a country at war. Now that the 3-decade-long conflict has come to an end, I'm going to find out their thoughts about the end of war and what they think their role should be in order to sustain a lasting peace in the country.
ඇත්තටම මේ යුද්ධේ නැතිවීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපේ ජනතාවට ගොඩාක් ලොකු නිදහසක් ලැබුණා. අපි දන්නේ අපේ පැත්තේ මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියලාවත් අඩුම තරමේ අපි මේ ප්‍රදේශ දැකලවත් නැහැ. ඇත්තටම කියනවා නම් මේ යුද්ධය නිසා අපේ ප්‍රදේශේ කිසිම මාධ්‍යකින් දැක ගන්නවත් ලැබුණේ නැහැ අඩුම තරමේ.
It was a moment of mixed emotions. The violent conflict as we knew it stopped, so finally we have a chance to see what peace in its purest sense is. But at the same time, the overwhelming jubilation that people were going through was a bit disappointing, because you saw a bit of what I would term blind patriotism coming, and you saw a bit of Sinhala chauvinism coming in, which was a bit worrying. And at the same time, I was hopeful, because the president would be given pretty much an unprecedented mandate in taking the country forward for the next 4-5 years.
Many want to voice their views on the sense of euphoria and satisfaction over winning the war. But there are others who feel that it will take more to win peace over the long term.
යුද්ධය වලට එක හොඳයි. මොකද අපි කියන්නේ මුළු ජීවිත කාලෙම හිටියේ අවුරුදු 20ක් 21ක් ඉපදුනාට පස්සේ හිටියේ යුද්ධෙත් එක්කනේ. ත්‍රස්තවාදය තුරන් කළ පමණින් රටක තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න විසඳෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතනින් එහාට තවත් ප්‍රශ්න පැන නගිනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ එකක් ආර්ථිකය කොහොමද ගොඩනගන්නේ, පළාත් සංවර්ධනය කරන්නේ කොහොමද, ඊට පස්සේ මිනිසුන්ගේ ජීවිත තත්ත්වය කොහොමද නගා සිටවන්නේ.
For me, there are thousands of disabled soldiers left. That is our generation. For whatever the mistake which is done by the generation before us, we have paid for it. We've been scapegoated. Right? And now, a more grave problem is left behind, in front of us, the IDPs, more than 3 lakhs, if I'm correct.
The end of war allows the government to focus more on other urgent needs, such as education and the creation of opportunities for youth to transform Sri Lanka's future. And there are many future leaders out there ready to take up the challenge.
සමෘද්ධිමත් කරන්න විශේෂයෙන්ම අපේ අධ්‍යාපනය යහපත් අධ්‍යාපනයක් තිබුණොත් තමයි අපිට යහපත් විදිහට අපිට රටක් බාර ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ.
Young people can contribute, and for that matter, I don't think it's just young people that can contribute. It's everybody who can contribute. But we've seen, as I said, through the violent manifestations of all of these, we've seen that the young people are the most vocal, the most active, the people with too much time in their hands who can actually get stuff done, right? So in that sense, young people have the most potential in creating that change that we really need.
Today's youth are tomorrow's leaders. 30% of Sri Lanka's population are between 15 to 29 years of age. Although they're a vulnerable group that could be manipulated, they have the capacity and sensitivity to understand the differences and work together towards a common goal. And given an opportunity, they may be able to lead the country towards a social change that is so badly needed.
Of course, you can't make the change overnight. You can't bring positive peace overnight. If it was possible, we won't be dragging this conflict for 30 years. And end of Prabhakaran is not the end of the problem, right? He was just a symbol of the whole problem. But the problem is still there, as far as I see. So, if the young people, if we can mobilize at least the next generation, right? We can challenge the individualization of this society. And at least if we can make the people feel that now we really need to bring change, bring peace to this country. We need to, irrespective of the fact we are born in different ethnic groups, this color, black or white, Hindu or Buddhist or whatever. If we can mobilize people and bring that change, yes, we can do it.
There are many young people, such as the ones you just saw, who are full of opinions on how to make a difference and the enthusiasm to do something about it. We're going in for a break right now, but we'll have more on youth views when we return.